The Burnley branch are here. Now listen, I am a Remainer. I am a Remona. I am a Remaniac. I am a re-intent to bang on about this because we've got to keep talking sense so that eventually those people meeting behind us today start to see sense and understand Brexit is a catastrophe. And just look where we are. Two main parties, both leading us to the cliff edge. Labour members know that it's wrong, but don't want to upset the leader. The Tory leader knows that it's wrong, but doesn't want to upset the members and doesn't want to upset her lying egomaniac of a foreign secretary that she was stupid enough to put there. And that is a wonderful thing, Jack, but do you know the worst thing about that? Boris Johnson will think that's a compliment. Every single one of them, May, Corbyn, Johnson, the lot of them, should be driven by one simple question. What is the right course for Britain now? Their answer is that we got the answer on June the 23rd, 2016. But democracy is a process, not a moment. Especially when that was a campaign won on lies, now taken forward by a new set of lies. And I'll tell you the big lie that they tell now is that 80% of us voted for Brexit because if you voted Labour or Tory, you were voting for Brexit. I voted Labour and I do not back Brexit. I voted Labour to stop Theresa May getting a mandate for hard Brexit, and we stopped her getting that. I voted Labour to get opposition to Brexit, not acquiescence. I voted Labour to stay in the single market and the customs union, not get out. I voted Labour to keep the options open, not to shut them down. And yes, I also voted Labour as a protest against austerity, and yes, there were good things in Labour's manifesto, but none of them will be deliverable in Brexit Britain because the economy will tank. When we had the referendum, we knew very little about what Brexit Britain would look like. And now we're beginning to know more. The pound, worth less because of Brexit. Rising prices in these shops because of Brexit. We've gone from the top of the G7 Growth League to the bottom because of Brexit. Investors making plans to move because of Brexit. EU workers leaving our schools and hospitals because of Brexit. Fruit going unpicked in East Anglian fields because of Brexit. The Irish border question, unresolved and imperiling stability and therefore peace because of Brexit. The rights of millions uncertain because of Brexit. And the most complex negotiations ever in the hands of a Tory cabinet incapable for meeting for 5 minutes without splurging their differences through the media to the other side of the negotiating table. A foreign secretary driven entirely by ego and a prime minister too weak to deal with it. And so much for the great trade deals with the US to go from hand in hand with Donald in the White House to very much America first when it comes to whacking massive tariffs on Bombardier. And yet, on they go, no matter what the evidence, no matter what the cost, no matter how big the chaos, the Tories gathering here in Manchester say they have to make it happen. And Jeremy Corbyn, last week he went even further, saying it should happen because if we were in the single market or the EU, a Labour government could not implement the policies in the manifesto. Well, to adapt a song, no, Jeremy Corbyn, that is not true. As to the goal of our campaign, it has to be that with the lights going on and the picture becoming clearer, it's sensible, surely, at least to keep options open as we see what Brexit in reality means. And here's a question. Boris and Michael Gove there, they project themselves as very clever people and historians. Can they name a single country, democracy or dictatorship, at any time in history that has built success by governing against the interests of young people in that country? The answer is there has never been one. Now, we lost the referendum, and we have to accept that. But we all know this in our own lives. People change their minds, and a country can change its mind, especially when that country knows it's been lied to and can see for itself the mounting cost, the chaos, and the incompetence that is leading us into a very uncertain future. £350 million for the health service, that was the biggest lie of the campaign. There have been plenty more, and there are plenty more now. There was the lie that on June the 24th, 2016, they could start negotiating these new great trade deals with America, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, and Japan, and all these other countries. Well, that's going well, isn't it? Theresa May flew to Florence. Florence is still wondering why. Do you know, if in your sadness on June the 24th you had sex, and if, as a woman, you became pregnant, and if the pregnancy went the full term and the baby was born, and if that baby is now 6 months old, its front teeth are coming through, and we are still no further forward on the decision that the people gave to this government back then. So get on with it or get out. They have no plans, they have delusions. They have no progress, they have fantasies. So let's fight their lies, fight their delusions with truth and with determination. We who fear Brexit takes Britain into decline must fight for what we believe in with exactly the same passion as the Brexiteers fought for what they believe in. Let them argue for hard or soft Brexit. Let us, if as we do we believe it is the right thing for Britain, argue for no Brexit at all. This for me, I want to echo something Alastair Campbell said about the flag. This for me is not about any love for Europe. I've been at European negotiations. They can be utterly balls aching. The European Commission can be a nightmare. The European Union can be a nightmare. This for me is about my love for Britain and about what kind of country we are handing on to our children and their children, what Britain is going to be in the future. And we have to fight for that future with all the energy that they fought to take back control. Now, every march needs a bit of fun. Every march needs a bit of music. Here we go. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the march.